everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Penny. I am a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon, and I'm excited that you're here today, you guys, because we're going to talk about high frequency. We are starting a series on at-home devices, and I decided to start with high frequency because I feel like it will speak to the majority of you. High frequency is a great tool for anti-aging, and it is also a great tool for acne. So I thought that this would kind of speak to the majority of you in one way or another. So let's get right into it. First of all, what is high frequency? It has been used in the beauty industry for decades. And in the treatment room, I typically use high frequency on my acne clients. That's where I see the most benefit, but it's definitely something that can be used in an anti-aging manner because it promotes circulation and nourishment to the skin and really can detoxify the skin and give a vibrancy to the skin. It's definitely really, really good for anti-aging. It's great for lymphatic drainage. Good if you have puffy under your eyes or just puffiness in general. It's a really good treatment for that. On the flip side, for acne, it is germicidal, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. It's an amazing, non-invasive, non-chemical way to take down a breakout and also to stave off if you have cystic acne. I think it is fantastic if you have adult acne. As we all know, adult acne is really difficult. It's difficult to treat. We're trying to anti-age at the same time that we are trying to treat active acne, and those two worlds often collide. And high frequency is one of those things that can treat them both simultaneously, so it's a really, really good at-home device. Now, I want to tell you that I started this concept for this video thinking that I was going to show you from the treatment room with my in-office device. And then I changed my mind because that device plugs into a big machine and it really doesn't translate to at home. It doesn't have all the specs that would matter to you. So I went online and I started searching for the best at home device that I could find that fit the bill as far as safety was concerned for me. So that's how I came on this machine. I purchased it with my own money and I'm reviewing it clearly independently. They don't know I exist or anything like that. I really like it though. I really think it's a great at-home option. And I want to tell you right from the get-go that the reason I picked this one in particular is because it has a 3-prong plug. I will show you guys. It has this kind of plug, okay? That's really, really important in this kind of a device. When you're dealing with electricity, you're dealing with a current, and we're going to get into that too. But that creates a grounding, so there's less likelihood of getting shocked, like actually shocked with the electricity. So when you are searching for a device, if this device isn't your cup of tea, be sure to find out what kind of a plug it has because that's really, really important safety-wise. Now, other than that, you guys, it's actually a super cool device because it comes in a case that is really easy to store all of the applicators. They are tempered glass. And you can see there it's a padded case, and I like that because these tempered glass applicators are obviously fragile. So this case is appreciated so that it can be stored away and I'm not going to worry about breaking them. Okay, so let's discuss why and how it even works. First of all, you have a tool, and this is the base, right? And you are going to get, in any of these devices that you find, typically you get 3 to 6 of these little tempered glass applicators. Each one of these applicators has kind of a different intended purpose just based on its shape and its size and that kind of thing. And each one of them has vacuum sealed gas inside of it. And it's either going to be argon gas or it's going to be neon gas. The neon gas is orange-ish, like a neon orange, and the argon is like a neon violet, okay? Now, the neon gas is typically used for anti-aging, and the argon is typically used for acne, although I gotta tell you that in my practice, I definitely found both to be beneficial both ways. I actually feel like they're relatively interchangeable. What happens is when you put this into the applicator, whichever tempered glass applicator you choose, and you put it into the base, and I plug this in, and I'm going to show you guys this. When electricity is put through this applicator, the gas inside here becomes electrified. And when it comes in contact with your skin, there is a circuit. And what happens is this electrified argon or neon gas reacts with the naturally occurring oxygen that's outside of the applicator, and that chemical reaction results in something called an ozone. It's ionized oxygen. That ozone, it is super germicidal, antibacterial. It is just pure ionized oxygen. And it is constantly, because there's an oscillating current going through here, a very gentle oscillating current going through here, it's constantly ionized and then converted back to the regular oxygen, and ionized and converted back to the regular oxygen. And so this little ozone that exists here, when it is either on your skin or very close to your skin, it affects your skin by increasing circulation or creating an environment that is so bad for P. acne bacteria and other bacteria that it can clear a breakout, it can take down inflammation, and it can really help with congestion. It's actually really cool, you guys. Now, the thing that is important to know as far as application is concerned is that there are two types. There is direct application and there is indirect application. Now, direct application, as you would imagine, is directly on your skin. There is nothing in between the applicator and your skin. Now, you can use products on your skin when you do a direct method. You just always want to avoid anything with alcohol in it because alcohol is flammable. So you definitely don't want any products on your face that contain alcohol. Now, the method that I really like the most, you guys, is the indirect method. And the reason that they call that indirect is because there is something, typically gauze, in between the applicator and your skin. Now, in office, I have face-shaped gauze that I can place over a client's face, and they're laying down, of course, and then I can use my applicator anywhere from 1/4 of an inch off of their skin, creating a great spark, or all the way down on the gauze, but the gauze is creating this slight gap. So this is not directly ever touching the skin. So that's why it's called the indirect method. It's my favorite method. I feel like you get the best glide and the best slip, and it also creates just a little bit of a spark, and that spark, the greater the spark, the greater the ozone, the greater the ozone, the greater the overall effect of, germicidal effect, antibacterial, all of that kind of stuff. So what you also need to know is that you never want to go more than 1/4 of an inch off of the skin, because that can actually cause too much of a spark and that can damage your tissue. So more is better up until 1/4 of an inch, and then more is not better. So you want to really be aware of that. I suggest that you start off with the gauze in the indirect method and the applicator on the gauze. And I feel like it gives you, with very light pressure, gives you just enough of an ozone. You will gain kind of, a feel for the device. I always say start on the lowest setting. I think that it's just a good way to, just get a feel for the entire procedure. I'm going to put in the description box a list of contraindications, because there definitely are some contraindications. I mean, just off the top of my head, you guys, you don't want to do this if you're pregnant. You do not want to do this if you have epilepsy, if you have had heart problems, if you have a pacemaker. You want to remove all of your jewelry just so that you don't get any zaps. There are definitely some contraindications. Again, I will list them in the description box, but I do encourage you, if you have any medical concerns before you do anything with high frequency, just make sure that it isn't a contraindication beyond this video. Research and make sure that whatever medical concern you have isn't a contraindication. So you have to be a self-advocate for that. Now, I do want to show you this, so I'm going to plug this in really quickly. Okay, so I have plugged it in, and I'm going to show you guys. You can turn it on and you're going to be able to hear. That's turned all the way up, and honestly, I wouldn't even use this turned all the way up. This is a powerful little machine. Now I'm going to turn it all the way down because I actually, after playing with this, I really feel like that's actually a great place to start, and a great treatment zone is just turned on and then kept on low. And I feel like you will get a good treatment. Now I want to show you so you can see the gas. So you can see the neon gas in there. I'm also going to show you just when I put it on my skin so you can really see it light up. And hopefully you can see when it's just off the skin, that's the spark. I can feel that. I can feel that right there, but there is no contact with the applicator on my skin. The spark will jump and reach to your skin. So remember, again, no more than 1/4 of an inch off of your skin at any time, because that spark will jump and you can cause yourself some damage. You may not even be able to tell that you caused yourself damage, but you could. So you want to keep that gap, minimal. And I'll also always remember, the greater the spark, the greater the ozone, the greater the ozone, the greater the effect, up until 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so what I want to do, you guys, is I'm going to just show you, because I have makeup on and everything. And if you want a full demo on a client, I would be happy to do that. The gauze that I have, you guys, is literally this kind, okay? Now at work, like I said, I have actual face shape, but there really isn't any reason to do that at home, because you're not going to lay gauze over your face because you're likely going to be sitting up. So this kind of gauze works well. And what I like to do is I take one of these and I open it all the way up. And instead of laying it on my skin, which would be kind of awkward, you can definitely do that. You can hold with one hand and, go like this. But what I really think that is the easiest at home is to wrap the applicator in the gauze. So it's just one layer of gauze like this. And you're going to hold it with your hand, okay? And once you have this in your hand, you'll get a good idea. Something else that is an absolute must when you're going to do a high frequency treatment on yourself or on anyone else, when you go to apply the applicator to your skin, you always want to have a finger on the applicator. See, my finger is on the applicator before I touch it to my face. Once it touches my face, I can remove that finger and I can go to work. Now, if I was doing an acne treatment, you guys, I would still treat the entire face, and then I would go back and I would do specific treatments on particular acneic areas. And obviously, you guys, I'm doing this without a mirror or anything like that. But the point here is I'm keeping contact with the gauze on my skin and going in circular motions. Okay, now it's great for lymphatic drainage. Can definitely, push that lymph from under the eyes. And what I'm also doing right now is I am increasing circulation in my skin. And when you do that, what happens is the underlying vessels, they dilate and they push away toxins, and that added circulation just nourishes the cells in your skin, and it really creates a healthy skin environment. It's a really, really great treatment. Now, when I want to remove this from my skin, I'm going to put my finger back on the applicator before I remove it. And that's super important, you guys, to do that when you're placing it on your skin and when you're taking it off your skin, so that you don't give yourself a little bit of a zap, because you definitely can do that. And certainly if you're treating someone else, you always want to do that with your finger before you put it on. And then you remove your finger. If you don't remove your finger, then you're not going to be getting the actual treatment in the tip that you want. So that's the indirect method, and that is definitely my favorite for overall treatment. This one is called the mushroom. And I think that that's probably my favorite applicator, just because it's easy to use. It's got the right size surface, and I don't know, it's flat, so it really travels easily over the skin. The other ones that are in this particular kit that I bought are, there's a roller, which is good for the body. I've actually never seen this before, you guys. This is a new, because I don't have this on my professional machine, but I think that this is kind of cool if you are somebody who is into possibly working on the circulation maybe above your knees. I mean, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm going to give this a little bit of a shot. Then we have a tongue or a spoon applicator. Okay, this one is really good for getting into kind of crevicey areas, but it's also really good for doing under the eyes for lymphatic drainage. I like that one for that. This particular kit comes with this one, and this is super cool because it's good for your submental. And I think that it's just a neat shape, and that would be good for encouraging that circulation in that area so that you can, get healthier skin there. And honestly, all of this stuff to me is just a component of a good skincare regimen because we're just encouraging healthy skin. That's what we're trying. We're trying to get good, healthy skin. And it's the same thing with microneedling. We're really trying to go for overall skin rejuvenation. Now, something else that comes in this kit is this little guy. Now, this one is really, really good for concentrated applications of the energy. I'm going to show you guys so that you can see. Because this one to me is one of the most used for me in the treatment room between this one and the mushroom, because I can use this on specific pimples, cystic lesions, that kind of stuff. It's perfect for that. So again, you turn this on. Now, for this one, I'm not using the indirect method. I'm going to use the sparking method. Again, you always have to have your finger on it. And let's say I had a pimple right here. I would go ahead and place it where the pimple is. Then I remove this, and then I can leave it for about 3 seconds, lift, 3 seconds, lift, 3 seconds, up until maybe 10 to 15 seconds on one particular area, and that is it, because it is super concentrated right there in that tip. So anyway, that is what this little tip is used for. It's for, obviously for more precise application, and definitely for specific pimples or underground cysts. That is so good for that. This one is really cool, you guys, and I have to tell you, I haven't used this one in office, so I'm intrigued by this. But just to be upfront here, this is a comb, and you use it always on dry hair. So any of this stuff you're never using around water. Obviously, water and electricity do not go together. That could be a recipe for a major shock. So you always use this on clean, dry hair with no styling products that might contain alcohol, okay? And all you're gonna do is you literally comb your hair like you normally would with this on. And it is electrified. And it's going to promote circulation in your scalp. So theoretically, that's going to help to feed your scalp and create more of a healthy scalp bed. And the premise certainly rings true. And I think that it's a great applicator, you guys, actually. So if you are somebody interested in, a little bit of scalp health, this might be something that could be of interest to you. But again, I haven't done this I've used it now, of course, in this kit, but I haven't done this for a long time. And I don't normally use this in the treatment room because I don't even have this applicator there. So just want to put that out there. Just to sum it up, you guys, what you would get with a high frequency treatment is increased circulation, and that means increased nourishment to your skin. You would also get a antibacterial, germicidal environment that is not good for P. acne bacteria or other bacteria to live in, and that helps to improve acne over time. It's also anti-inflammatory. I literally can see a pimple just kind of deflate, and it's really cool. And for those of you with cystic acne, I'm telling you that this is such a great treatment because there's not a lot we can do about that. It's in there, it's coming. There's no amount of squeezing you should do. There's really no medications you can put on. This is one of those things that can go to work on that acne lesion that's coming or may never even show itself, but will hurt you for weeks. This can help to get rid of it faster. Now, the other thing that this is really good for, you guys, is if you do any kind of extractions on yourself, if you happen to be one of those people, this is great to do post-extraction because, again, of that germicidal effect. This is also really good for post any kind of treatment that you do where there's any chance of any kind of bacteria. So if you dermaplane, this would be a great treatment, indirect treatment to do post dermaplaning, this would be fantastic. So you kind of get the idea. It is one of those just really good augmenting treatments. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions about this, if you'd like to see this on someone else, if you'd like to see a treatment in the treatment room, a high frequency treatment, I'm happy to do that. I thought today it would be fun to start this series with how you use this at home. And again, I will link this one in the description box. You guys are going to see lots of these on the market, and you're going to see some of them that are like $20, $30. Always take into consideration the safety aspect. And if nothing else, look for that 3-prong plug. It's super, super important. And definitely the cheap machines, they don't have it. And you're risking shocking yourself, or certainly someone else if you think you're going to treat someone else. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this at-home device. This is the start of a series. Leave the devices or the treatments, the modalities down below that you would like to see. We're going to get into electroporation. We're going to get into ultrasound. We'll do microcurrent. I am going to order that zip device. I've gotten that question so much, you guys, that I'm going to go and fork it out so that I can test it out for you guys. I also am interested in looking at the Clairblend Mini, the MyoLift. I mean, there's so many things that, you know, we just have to have a budget here for this kind of stuff, you know. So yeah, leave me your suggestions in the comment section. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you again in my next skincare video. Take care.